All right, so we've had a bit of a break. Um, Animals are fed, uh, cooked the boss dinner, and tucked the squids away. So at this stage, it's really good because we can come and go as we please. We can sort of leave it. If you get 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is to spend on it. So then we're going to look at the rovings. So this is first cross Valet English Leicester rovings. These are from our sheep that we've had processed. It's basically a long string of cleaned, scoured, carded wool roving. Now, the way I do it, there's a few different. Some people use a cross hatch. Some people use different methods. I like to get mine nice and flat. Just tease it out, get it nice and flat, and I'll change the camera angle in a second when we start laying it down. But as we get it down, generally I'd say about 20 centimeters is what I like to work with. And just tuck those locks under. And I start at the edge of the frame. Just tease it out, flatten it down. Again, about the same size, just with a very slight overlap. Lay your roving down. This takes some time, especially on a bigger fleece. So tease that roving out, tear it off, lay it down. Just a little bit of overlap, just so it's nice and even across the fleece. Now you can tear it first and then flatten it out if you like. So I'll just change the camera and then I'll come back and show you how this is laying down. All right, so brought the camera over a little bit closer. Teasing that roving out. Then laying it down over the top, just covering the edges of our frame when we do this process. This roving's a little bit squished. Let's see if we can find the end here. This was left over from another project and I probably didn't pack it away as well as I could have. So we'll find a center of bump. There we go. So it's naturally, this one's actually quite flat. So we don't have to do a lot of work on it. Just small amount of overlap, nice even thickness. We're going to work our way the whole way across and then up the fleece in the same fashion. And when we have done our first row, I'll show you what it looks like. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So just laying it down, same fashion the whole way along. until we get to the end. Now, I have used Corriedale Rovings before, and they worked really well. I'm sure there's plenty of other fleeces that are equally as good. I've had good success with the Valet Cross Leicester. It's just a matter of doing a bit of research and trying what you have around. Now, the Valet is a dual coat fleece. So it has guard hairs and it has wool, which is why it's very coarse. Now, the guard hairs aren't particularly good for felting, so the rugs do get some flyaways. Generally, I find that's just it is what it is. I'm not going to try and brush out that guard hair. It's just going to ruin the rug. So it's something you sort of have to, I guess, just deal with as part of the process. Right, so I'm going to work all the way through and then work my way up the rug, and then I'll get back to you when the first layer is done. Just giving it a nice press down onto those cut ends as we go. Just want it to start binding up just a little bit with just a little bit of pressure. All right, so we're just getting to the end now of our first run of rovings. This edge, I've actually made it a little bit longer. Shouldn't make too much of a fuss. And probably two more should get us over the edge. One and then one more. All right. So I'm just gonna work in a little bit. We're just gonna lightly push those rovings down again onto the cut ends. And for our next step, we were just coming down this way vertical. We're going to run horizontal. So nice even layers, around 20 centimeters, thereabouts, what I usually use. We're going to work our way horizontally all the way up the fleece and then back down along the project until the whole fleece is covered horizontally with roving. Now I'm hoping that I'm going to have enough for 3 layers. I found that 3 layers gives a really nice backing, but I'm between getting product at the moment, so we might end up doing 2, but I'm not I'm not all the way through my first bump, which was 180 grams if my memory serves correct. So I'm just going to work along the fleece like so. And then when we go moving along, I'll just show this one. We're just going to start again at the edge. A little bit of an overlap. And work our way up to that top edge and then all the way along. So one row you can do vertical, and then we're going to go horizontal. Like that. So we're going to go up this way and keep going the whole way along the entire fleece. All right, so I've just got my second layer down. This is my horizontal pass, and it's all looking fairly uniform and fairly well covered. Now I'm a bit worried. I would really like to do 3 layers, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to run short, which means a 500 gram roving bump would have been perfect for this job. But the last one, that big guy up there, took up a lot more than what I had, and I'm in the middle of getting some more processed. So we might run, on this particular job, I might run some diagonals on the edges just to get a bit more reinforcement around the edge. So you really can adapt and overcome depending on what you've got on hand, but at a bare minimum you really want to have 2 good layers of roving. So I might start with this corner, and I'll just lay in on a diagonal. Fix that one up. Like so. And I'm just going to work that the whole way along. Like I said, yeah, 3 would have been ideal. Now, when you do your 3rd layer, you can go back to vertical, or you can run diagonals like I'm doing now, the whole way across the back of the fleece. So I'm just going to work this the whole way along, around the edge and back down the other side. All right, so I managed to get a nice diagonal edge the whole way around with about 30 centimeters or so of roving left over. So I just had that much left. Like I said earlier, it would have been nicer to have a full 3 layers and be able to fill in this center section, but it's not to be at this stage. So that's our roving laid. And we can continue to just, bugs, just gently press those rovings down onto those cut ends.